It is spring break now, 0 days left. So that is a good thing because 0 days left and spring break and no homework. Yeah. So in marketing, we didn't do anything as I expected. All we did was watch Shark Tank, and I kind of did a few Professor Layton puzzles on the side, and I didn't really solve that many of them, mainly because the ones that I tried to solve were really confusing, and I will probably end up just trying to do one on Skype with a friend while I'm talking to them, because otherwise it would get really boring really fast, and I refuse to look up any of the answers again in any Professor Layton game, including Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, which I saw a few new screenshots today, and it actually looks really good, even though I always expected it to be good, but I expected it to be kind of a lower thing, because from what I heard, it isn't as good as one would expect it to be. Before this becomes me just talking about video games, after marketing, we went to chapel because it's Friday and we don't have Bible. We went to chapel, and there was a guy there who was doing the sermon, and he was actually really cool, and I really enjoyed having him up there, and I hope that our school has him up there more often in the future. After chapel, we went to history, and it was probably the worst class of the day, although it always is the worst class of the day. During history, we got there, and we sat down, and for the first 10 minutes, he was grading our midterms, or finishing the grading for our midterms, and we just kind of talked and did whatever we wanted on our iPads or our phones or whatever. And then after he finished grading them and passed them out, he turned on a movie, and it was one of those History Channel movies that isn't very good, but he's only making us watch it because he's a history teacher and history, and it was horrible. But luckily, the math room was right next door, and they had pie because it's pie day, March 14th. So a few people were like, hey, can I go get pie from the other room? And he was like, as long as it's okay with that teacher. So the teacher was like, it's okay. So a few people went in there, and then one of the students was like, can I go in there, to stay? And then he said, sure. And then he went in there and stayed, and then my friend was like, you know what, I'm getting really bored, can I go in? Or he didn't even ask, he just kind of left and went, our teacher went to talk to the other teacher, and then he left during that, and he was seen. He even said bye to him when he was walking away, and he didn't say anything. So when I asked, hey, can I go to the other room? He goes, when somebody else comes back. And I was like, oh, well, nobody's going to come back because everyone else is just going to hang out in there, so I guess I can't go. And then some guy just went in there just to get a slice of pie, and then he came back, and I was like, that was my chance. So I went into the other room and talked to the other people for about half an hour, and it was very nice, even though I was scared the whole time because I think he didn't realize that I meant that I wanted to stay in there, and I just wanted to get a slice of pie and come back. Anyway, I stayed in there, and all was good, except for the fact that I left my backpack in the history room. So after class, I had to go get it, but fortunately, my friend, he had to go in there, and he got it for me, and so it's all good. In art class today, we really didn't do much. I worked on our sketchbook that's due in a few weeks. That's about all I did. Then in biology, we were playing board games because it's the last period of the last day, and our biology teacher is kind of laid back, so we weren't going to do anything because, what was this, language class? No, it's biology, and it was very nice and relaxing. Then there was this game called Quirkle that the teacher, me, and two other people were playing, and I came in second, the teacher came in first, and the other two people came in third and fourth, obviously. And it was actually really fun. It was like Scrabble with colors and shapes, and it was really fun. And it's called Quirkle, so let me just Google that. It's QW, not QU. So, if you just want to look that up, it was a fun game. Unfortunately, if I had it, I would play it. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to play it because nobody else would be interested, so I would end up not playing it. Then there was this other game that we played. It was like a card game. It was called Once Upon a Time, I believe. Not 100% sure about that, but you had to, you got 5 or 6 cards and an ending card, and you had to, make a story out of them. But if you got stuck, or if you just couldn't continue the story if you had like a contradiction or something, and then it goes to the next person, and then whoever like runs out of cards first is the winner. So that was, I didn't really like it as much as Quirkle, but maybe it's just because I'm not a very good storyteller, and every time it was my turn, I did an absolutely horrible job. Then everybody else was just kind of like throwing like sprinkles on the ground and just screaming and on Omegle, and pretty much just acted very immature. So yeah, that was the Friday before spring break. I will see you all after spring break. I'll see you all the Monday that we get back. I'm not sure what day that is. It's the Monday after next Monday. You figure it out or not. I mean, the Monday after next Monday. It's a little over a week. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Have a nice day. Have a nice morning. Have a nice evening. Have a nice life. Have a nice week. Goodbye. I just realized that technically this would be the end of part 3. So that's kind of unbelievable, because it just felt like a few days ago that we actually started high school, and I still can remember our other classes. Like, I can remember my schedule, and it's kind of unbelievable that I've actually made it this far. Like, the second quarter was probably my favorite out of the whole year so far, with, unfortunately, this last quarter being the worst. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it's true. Hopefully next quarter is really good, and I will hopefully make it really good, because it's the last quarter of the freshman year. It has to be awesome. I will, as I said, talk to you guys later next week. The week after next week. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in every day, or some days that I've been making these videos. 125. I'm glad that I stopped on a nice number instead of like 113. So, talk to you later. Goodbye.